Guys, it's quarantine season. Quarantine week, quarantine day, whatever we're gonna call it. But let me tell you, the captain of Team Babe, when she's bored, what does she go do? Watch O Face Wrestling Podcast. Listen to it, subscribe, follow. You won't regret it. It's the best thing. Get ready. There's some awesome interviews coming your guys' way.
That's right. Oh, Face Wrestling. Listen to the podcast. Listen. They are Dark Side approved. Howden approves it. Oh, Face Wrestling. I'll be listening. Will you?
Hi, I'm MCW Women's Champion Gia Scott, and you're watching O Face Wrestling.
I'm the one-eyed, thick-thighed Woad, and you're watching O Face Wrestling.
Come and listen to O Face Wrestling Podcast with your favorite Siren the Voodoo Doll, aka Nina Monet.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on O Face Wrestling. This is your host JT, and today I am joined by Camron Bra'Nae. So thank you for joining us today, Camron.
No, thanks for having me. Seriously, it means a lot.
No problem at all. So anyone who has seen the my tweets promoting this episode, you may have thought Cameron looks pretty familiar. So for anyone who remembers, back in October on Smackdown Live, she was one of the local talents who competed in a match against Lacey Evans.
Yes.
Yes. So you are the first person on my show that actually has wrestled on WWE television. So first question, because I have a lot of questions about that, honestly. So first question, how did that moment feel?
It's exhilarating even to think about right now still. It was to the point where me being a gorilla, me hearing her music, I'm a huge Lacey Evans fan. So I used to dance to her music all the time in the car, which is kind of awkward because when I'm in the ring, it's do, do, do. So it was don't do it. You have to be serious. But going into the ring, going down the ramp, it was really cool because, as a kid, you've always grown up to be I want to walk down the ramp. It wasn't to me that I wanted to be in the ring necessarily. It was more of I wanted to get that music. I wanted to walk down the ramp. So I ended up getting to walk down the ramp, and I got to slap fans' hands, which was really awesome to me. And I got in the ring, and the ref was hey, soak it in. And literally to the point where he said soak it in, and you look around and it's a really huge indie show. Because you can see a lot of people, but then you also can't see that much. And you just sit there and it was breathtaking, to the point where I was this is where I need to be. I was meant to be doing this. It was a reality check in a way, but it was just how did I get here? How did this happen? How did I make it? It was awesome.
So did you feel nervous at all? Just knowing that you're on SmackDown Live, you're surrounded by thousands of fans. You're being watched. I don't know how many people exactly watch SmackDown. I don't look at the ratings, but I know it's 1 million plus people. So how nervous were you just knowing that you had all these eyeballs on you?
I wasn't really so much nervous. It was more of the fact of when you're on the indie show, there's those roaming cameras, but they're maybe the handheld ones, a cell phone. So me being in the ring with Lacey, how we were sitting there talking, you had 3 cameras and then you had the hard cam. So that was what was more scary for me was not the fans. Because, you have in front of fans all the time. It's more fans, so it's a lot of reaction. And then you have all of these lights. So it was the lights and the camera that really was oh my gosh, I'm in this ring. This is crazy. And it's don't look in the camera, but don't look away from the camera. So you have all these things in your head that you're trying to go over. She's talking to you, but you have to stand this way, but then you don't want to look in the camera, but you don't want to look away from the camera. It was oh my gosh, there's so much. I don't know how they do this. So it was great, but it was also it didn't hit me until I went home.
Mm-hmm.
And my phone was just blowing up, and I was I was only on TV for a minute. I got punched in the face. And you guys want to follow me because I got punched in the face? I was wow.
Yeah, so that was like one of the questions I was gonna ask too, like the aftermath, like, your notifications. So you did get like a lot of follows and stuff like that on social media?
Yeah, so when I first went to Smackdown, I had maybe like 700 and something. Cause like there's people on social media that like will follow people, get the follower and like unfollow them. And like I know people who do that all the time. I'm not that person. I earned all my followers. So when I got done with the Lacey thing, I went back to my phone maybe 5 minutes later, like after getting critiqued and everything for that and finding my cell phone. I had already like 70 like followers on Instagram, and then I had Facebook friend requests, and I had Twitter followers, and I was like, oh my gosh. And this happened for like 3 days to the
Mm-hmm.
point where like my parents would text me and it would get drowned out by all of the other notifications I had. People adding me on Snapchat, and I was like, how are you finding all of this stuff? People are tagging me in pictures. I'm getting tagged on WWE. I ended up being their cover photo on their Twitter. I don't know if you knew that, for like a week.
I did not know that.
Yeah, someone sent it to me. And I got more followers because Lacey was commenting on my pictures. If you look back at the pictures, from WWE, you'll see that she commented on them and she made a tweet about me and things like that. So my social media blew up like heavily.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like how people like you said, they found you on Facebook and all this kind of stuff. Like I remember seeing like someone posted and like tagged your name on Instagram. That's how I found you, because like someone said, "Who is this?" and someone constantly. I guess it's just like those people who did know who you are posted, and it just like blew up. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just like the impact, like you said, you were on WWE television for just a few minutes, and then it did that much of an impact and all.
Yeah.
So the one question I have too, this is the one I've been most curious. I've been curious about this for a very long time because a local talent coming on the WWE television is very normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, like, how does one get that opportunity? Like, is there like a tryout? Is there, did they reach out to you? Like, how did you get that opportunity?
So I can't speak for everybody because I don't know how everyone gets to the extra talent spot. But for me, it was kind of like what we say in wrestling a lot: right time, right place, and your connection. So like I was trained by Derek Stone. So John Cone, the senior ref, he is a person that does extra talent. So whenever he goes into certain like cities and he like knows people, so probably like in Illinois they use Seth Rollins' kids from Black and Brave, and Missouri they hit up Derek Stone. So Derek sends them like a list of people. From there, I don't know if they research us, or I don't know if like it's like, oh, these names sound familiar. I don't know anything like that, but they reach out to Derek. Derek sends them a list, and I guess they tell Derek who to email them. So we get John Combs' email, and we get I think his name Daniel something. I don't remember his last name. I'm so sorry. Don't remember his last name.
No, you're
But
fine.
he does he does the extra talent too. So you reach out saying like, I'm a student of Derek Stone's, like I'm here for extra enhancement talent. Then if they want you, they'll email you back with like everything you need to bring and like when to get there, what to do. And you kind of just like have, last time I went, it was like, I think 9 or 10 guys and it's like 3 or 4 girls. So there's never that many girls, but there's like a crap ton of guys. So you're like, okay, you're going to get picked to do something and we're just going to be sitting here and catering and eat all day. And I ended up getting lucky to do that. So when it came to that SmackDown experience, I've already been enhancement talent like 4 times prior to that. So when they're coming to Kansas City, they know I'm there. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to email them, and they'll email me back every single time, no problem. I just happened to get lucky, and they're like, hey, you, come here. And I was like, me? They're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. It sounded like that thing where it's like, me or her? Oh, me. Okay, whatever you need. Coffee, donut, I got you. Need me to sit, and you sit on me? Cool. So that's how that happened, which I still, like when I went home, my dad was watching and I was like, I don't know how this happened. I was like sitting in a makeup chair. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember Rey Mysterio came past and he probably thought I was like Alicia Fox or something. And he shook my hand and like looked at me like weirdly and was like, hey. I was like, hi. Hey. I was like super happy. And the girls with the
Mhm.
makeup were really nice. They did my hair. It was just like, I could do this. Like,
You could do this full time, yeah.
yeah, like this is awesome. I was doing my own makeup. I was to do my own hair. It's great.
So what other wrestlers did you get to meet backstage?
Okay. It's gonna be a list. I have a lot of people. The people I talk to normally are Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. I talked to Jason Jordan. I talked to Ember Moon once. Lacey Evans, of course. I'm trying to think of brands. AJ Styles. He sat down and talked to us in catering, and he was super, super nice. No Way Jose, because I was in the conga line on main event one time with him. Umberto was standing next to me once when we had to do this segment where he jumped over and attacked Andre. So that was one. Shotzi Blackheart. I met Rana Gonzalez, Mercedes Martinez, Shayna Baszler. Oh my gosh. I walked past Sasha Banks, so that was cool. I didn't talk to her, but I was like, oh my God, the boss. Kobe Kingston told me good luck, and so did Big E before I went out. R-Truth, I talked to him. Ruby Riott, Deanna, oh my God, excuse me. Deanna, Ricochet a little bit, which me and Ricochet, like, I love that man. Like, I have the biggest crush on this man. And I was, like, I do. And I have no problem saying it whatsoever. And I was telling Cedric about it, which I don't know why I even told him. So we were down by the fabric stuff. And it was Cedric Alexander, me, and Deanna. And I was talking to Ricochet. And Cedric's like, yeah, so Cameron gets worried about me when she talks to boys that she likes. And I was like, why are you talking? He's like, he doesn't get it. I was like, no, stop talking. Like, why are you saying this? So I ended up getting, like, word vomit. And I saw him in catering later. And I was like, I just want some bread. And he's like, oh, well, there's bread, down there. You can get grilled cheese. And I was like, grilled cheese? And I was really happy. I was like, you're the best person ever. This is why I love you. And he looked at me, and I was like, oh, my God, why did I say that? And I was like, I meant, like, you're great because you helped me find the grilled cheese. And he's, like, smiled at me, like, just kept talking. And I was like, stop talking.
Oh, wow. So who do you like better, Ricochet or Cedric Alexander?
No. Oh, God.
No, you have to pick. No, you.
That's not fair, though, because Cedric's, like, my
You're the one who brought it up, though, so you know I was going to test you at some point.
I know, but now he's going to hear this, if he hears it, and he's not going to talk to me ever again, and his wife's going to hate me, because I love his wife. I would, I don't know, because, like, I talked to Cedric more, so I feel like I'm going to say Cedric just because, like, I have more of, like, I don't know if you would say a friendship connection because I've only talked to him a couple of times, but, like, whenever I talk to him, it's just, like, super natural, like, flowing. Like, he's just super easy to talk to. And then when I talk to Ricochet, I'm just like, bah. I don't know how to speak any English.
Yeah, believe me, I know how that feels right there. I actually had a chance, well, kind of, back in July, Ricochet was doing, like, a meet and greet at a Walmart in New Jersey, and I actually, like, me and my wife, we drove up there, and he actually, like, something happened, I don't know what happened, but he had to cancel last minute, so I almost had a chance to meet him. But they did replace him, though, with Alexa Bliss, so we still got to meet someone.
Oh, that's so good. That's a good replacement, though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ricochet. I really definitely want to meet him.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those, because we're in a day and age where there's so many talented wrestlers, like, it's hard to stand up, but Ricochet, like, stands out because of all the acrobatic stuff he does. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's definitely a great wrestler. I definitely top tier on my list that I want to meet.
Yeah, I talked to him the first time I talked to him. We were walking down the hallway, and he walked past us. He was like, you guys aren't cold? And me and my friend looked at him because we loved him, and we were like, no, we're not cold. Like, you're cold. If we're cold, we're cold. And he said something, and, like, he was, like, leaning on the trash can, and Cesaro had walked past, and Ricochet ended up, like, falling into the trash can, like, a little bit. And Cesaro was like, I saw that. And we were, like, laughing our butts off because it was just, like, the funniest thing. And then we asked him about, like, his moveset. And we're like, so, like, when you do, like, these flips, do they hurt? And he's like, well, technically, like, what hurts the most is, like, getting body slammed. I was like, so you flipping 20 feet off the roof doesn't hurt, but you taking a bison where a clothesline hurts, I was like, interesting. Okay. Because I would cry getting punched off the top rope, and you're just like, that's nothing. Okay. You're like immortal human.
I've always wondered, like, when they, like, practice and learn how to do those things, how do you, like, practice that? Because it seems, like, extremely dangerous, because he does that, I forgot what it's called, but he flips around, like, 20 times in the air. It's like, how do you, like, do that?
It was like the 6-something, 6:30, is that what it's called? I don't know.
Something like that.
Because it's not the 4, I think it's like a 6:30, 6:80, I don't know. But my thing, and I think about that too, I'm like, how do you know that you can do that? Like, how do you just flip one day and, like, hope I don't break my neck?
Exactly.
Like, I would never do that. So you will never see me doing a 450. I did a back handspring once, and I almost broke my neck. And I was like, all right, so I'm gonna stay on the ground. So I don't know. I can't, maybe because he has money to pay his medical bills.
Maybe, but I would not even dare to challenge that. I don't care if there's like a whole bunch of pillows on the ring or something like that. I just could not.
No. I may try a backflip, and that's like all you get.
Exactly. Now the one other question too, like you mentioned that your social media blew up and all after that. What about like as far as like wrestling promotions? Did a lot of like different wrestling promotions hit you up after that?
Yes and no. It was more of promotions I reached out to before that kind of told me no, but then would reach out to me again, like, I'll pay you like $50. And it's like, oh, now because I was on TV, you want to book me? And it's kind of like, I took some of them, but then there was some promotions that were like very close to me, and they didn't want to book me because of the school I came from. So that was more one of those things where I had to be like, I need the promotion, I need the experience, but like, I'm not going to take it for this little bit of money because you could have booked me for this much when I wasn't on TV, but it just happened 2 weeks later. Now you want to book me when I've been here the whole time. So that's kind of been a thing, but people have been using me a lot more. I've been getting reached out a lot more, but it's a lot harder now because I feel like I have to put myself to a higher standard because I was on TV. So I make sure like none of my matches are like bad. I try to learn about psychology. I try to perfect like what I normally do. So instead of just focus on the promotions that reach out, I'm more like focusing on like, okay, new promotion, but they know me for this reason. How can I make them know me for my actual wrestling name instead of just, Cameron Connors?
Exactly. They're like, oh, she was on TV. Like now she can kind of like bring more fans to, our promotion versus like wanting you, in the future. So, I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of part of the business though. Is like, it's like, a lot of promotions, they want to book, people who they feel like can, give them more attention and all kind of stuff like that. It sucks, but I mean, it is good for you at least now that you've had that, that rub from WWE. It is going to give you more opportunities, especially if you deserve them in the first place. So sometimes that's just how it happens in the business, to be honest with you. So
right. And it just sucks being in the indies because it's like you can't really do much because it's like right place, right time, or just like your connections or just moving places. So what my trainer always told me is just don't get stuck in one place. So that was just my main focus, is just don't get stuck like in Kansas City or like in Kansas. I need to like venture out. So I'm trying to get out to Texas, and I'm going back to Iowa. I'm trying to just branch out because as long as I'm still moving, then like someone will sooner or later see me. So fingers crossed that this year is the year.
Yep.
Let's make it happen.
Well, like you said for me before we started recording, like I got my fingers crossed and my toes crossed. You just can't see my toes.
Right?
Yep. So last question I have for you, like what is your top tier goal for wrestling? Like how far do you want to go with it?
I feel like it's hard to answer in a certain way, only because everyone always goes, I want to headline WrestleMania. Like I want to go to WrestleMania, and like that's always something like you want to do, like when you make it to WWE or like TNA or just something. But like I feel like overall, to me, just to get signed somewhere would be amazing. Like that's kind of like I have goals and overall goals for certain parts of my career. So like right now, like my first goal is that I want to get to Evolve or to Shimmer or to Rise. I went to Rise down on their what was it? Their Contenders pay-per-view. So I was in the Royal Rumble with them, and Indy Hartwell, I was in there with her. I actually got eliminated by her and Zoe Lucas. Fun fact, if no one knew that, you can also Google that, because apparently that's the first thing that pops up when you Google Camron Bra'Nae. I suck, is what they're trying to say, is I always lose. And then I ended up getting the shot because I went to a recruitment camp for Evolve, which anyone who's listening to this, if you are a wrestler, the recruitment camps that Evolve has, they are worth it. Like, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, but it's worth it. And I always tweet about it, and I always go, it's worth it. Because of them, I got that match with Shotzi before she got signed, which gave me another connection because she signed, and also just helped me. Like, she's so full of information. And also, like, Tommaso Ciampa's always there. So I got to Evolve, so that was a goal. Then it's like, okay, I got booked for Evolve twice. So I was like, that's awesome. So I want to get signed to Evolve, obviously, because that's, you know, a good company to get signed to. There's Woman of Wrestling. There's Ring of Honor. There's TNA. There's AEW. There's WWE, obviously. So, and then, like, my other thing was, like, I want to get a tryout. So it's like, okay, check. So it's like, okay, that's happening. I don't know when, but that'll be happening soon. So it's like, okay, once that comes, like, I want to get signed. So it's just little baby goals that I have to get to the main one. But I don't really have an overall goal. I guess just to be signed and be happy. Because I don't want to get signed and then, like, have a gimmick that I just hate, or like have music that I just hate going out to, you know? I want to like be a gimmick, or like, you know, have my hair a certain way, or have my music a certain type, and just when I go out, be happy, like be like, I earned this, I love this is what I want to do. So I also want to be in an Elimination Chamber match. I don't know why, but I do. I really do.
I mean, that's a really cool match to be in, honestly. That's really interesting that you said it. Most people say, oh, I want to headline WrestleMania, or I want to be in the Royal Rumble or something like that. Elimination Chamber, I think, is kind of underrated. Like, people look at it like because it's right before WrestleMania. It's in between WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, so people kind of look at it as kind of like a trying to think of kind of like just like a setup show for WrestleMania, basically. But
right.
I love the matches. I don't care if sometimes they may or may not be predictable. Like, they're so fun, and there's usually some kind of intense moment in it. So I think if I were a wrestler, I would definitely want to be in, you know, Elimination Chamber match as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Royal Rumble, like, I would want to be, I feel like that would be, like, I would want that to be my first pay-per-view, only because there's always, like, that shocking moment of, like, oh my God, who's next? So, like, that would be awesome to be like, oh my God, Cameron's, like, in the Royal Rumble. But, like, after that, because it's like, once you make your entrance, it's like, then what? You know, like, there's nothing really to it.
It's a
except,
pop,
like,
and then, yeah.
And that's it, and then you get eliminated. So, like, for me, if I could be an Elimination Chamber match, like, that would be great. Because I remember it was the women's tag title, like, the first one. And it popped me so hard. Because, like I said, I'm a Peyton Royce fan. I love the Iconics. And it wasn't the fact that, like, they were in the match, but it was the fact that, like, their gimmicks are so over. It helps. Like, it's amazing because, like, do go out and, like, have your match be intimidating. But the fact that they ran into their chamber and closed the door and they're screaming was amazing. And then on YouTube, if you look, you can see the, like, people's reaction, like the girls' reaction inside the chamber, and you can hear them screaming inside the chamber. So, like, it was just, like, Liv Morgan was, like, laughing, and then you could, like, hear, like, Mandy Rose, like, talking crap. But it was just, like, it was so great. Like, I absolutely love that pay-per-view. I would pick that over Mania. The only reason I love Mania is just because of the entrances, because the entrances are, like, super fancy. But other than that, like, Elimination Chamber, one of my favorite pay-per-views. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait for this one. Oh, my God.
I know, and I'm so excited as well. It's you know, right as of this recording, it's like a few days away, so I'm extremely excited for it.
I know. Who do you want to win? Let's do that, because we have to figure that out.
Yeah, which match?
We'll do the girls' match, one with Shayna Baszler and all of them in it.
Honestly, I probably would say Shayna, just because I want to see Shayna versus Becky.
I want to see that, but I feel like knowing that Shayna's in it, they won't give the title to Shayna. So Becky's gonna win anyways. So I really I don't know why, but I feel like I just want the Liv Morgan to win. I feel like she's so underrated.
I would love that too. I don't know if I can, I don't know. I'm disappointed with the way they booked Liv Morgan, in her comeback. They gave her these really, really cool Vigilant videos, and they put her in that, love affair stories. I want them to build her up more before they, maybe, after WrestleMania. But right now, it's just, they're doing this storyline already with Shayna and Becky. It just feels like if Shayna didn't win it just would feel kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Right. Which is the being
All right, hey everyone. So sorry about the confusion. We had a little bit of connection issues, and the recording got cut off. So we're gonna continue it because the show must go on. So
go on.
Exactly. So Cameron, we were talking about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and we were discussing who we thought was gonna win, and I mentioned Shayna Baszler because it just seems obvious because of the direction that they're going in, and if she were to lose, it wouldn't make really much sense. Kind of like when Naomi returned on SmackDown and she started her feud with Bayley, but then when Carmella won the #1 contender match, it just felt weird, because we all were expecting Naomi. So I think it would be something like that. So I think it's just clear as day. And plus, this is Shayna Baszler's first pay-per-view match on the main roster. I haven't really been watching Raw because I work, Tuesday morning, so I don't know if she's had any matches on Raw, but this
I think that was the first one. I know she's been making appearances, she made this for Survivor Series, but she never had the full legit match. But I just know if Shayna's gonna win Elimination Chamber, because they may switch it up, but does win and she loses to Becky, I'm gonna be so angry because to me it's when they bring up someone from NXT to start this huge feud and she loses anyways, then what was the point of that feud?
Exactly. So I feel like Shayna will win this match and then beat Becky, but then deep down inside I kind of want Becky to retain because I'm hoping that Ember Moon returns and then dethrones Becky. I would rather that, but that's just me being biased since I'm a big Ember Moon fan. But I won't be mad if Shayna wins just because Becky's she'll be champion for a year come WrestleMania. That's a long time. You don't see people hold titles for that long that often. So it's time for someone new, in my opinion. And Shayna, I liked her as an NXT Women's Champion at first. I didn't, but then she kind of grew on me because she's such a badass. And every feud that she was in just felt, so intense. It felt kind of like an MMA fight. It felt like a fight versus a wrestling match. And I like when, you get something different. Kind of the same thing with Brock Lesnar's matches when he actually does fight a lengthy match.
I was what do you mean? His 2-second matches of 9 F5s and then he pins in 1, 2, 3.
Not those matches, but his when he fought Undertaker and John Cena, those matches were 15, 20 minutes long and it actually felt like a fight, and I like those kind of matches.
I feel like if Shayna does win, how everyone makes that whole what's it called? Oh my gosh, it's a new roster type thing, the Raw after Mania, all these people pop up. So I feel like if Shayna does win, it's she's that new bring up from NXT. But I'm also okay, if she doesn't win, then what, they keep her on NXT or they keep the feud going? Because I don't know. Becky needs to be dethroned. I miss you said I miss the underdog Becky. It's not the same.
Exactly. I think
where any place, anytime, man, and it's you say about everybody. So then once you beat everybody, then why are they still trying? So it makes no sense that they're still trying if you beat them, if you're the man. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just you might as well just. I think her time is up. She's gone through everyone, and it's time for something new and fresh. And I mean, if Shayna does lose the only thing I can really think of is maybe like bringing Ronda Rousey back and doing something with that kind of storyline, like maybe, Becky and Ronda. But other than that, it does make all the sense in the world for Shayna to win.
Yeah, but I just want to get folks up, and then Shayna doesn't win. I'm like really angry at Mania,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing is I'm trying to figure out like if they bring up Shayna, would they bring up like Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke too? Because they haven't been around lately.
I think they have to be honest with you, because I mean, without Shayna Baszler, it's just weird seeing them, on their own in NXT. And at the same time, the tag team division could use, some more teams up on the main roster for them title belts. So I think it would, because I mean, really, there's really no one to challenge Asuka and Kairi Sane at the same time. So they need more tag teams.
So the bad thing about that, I was thinking one day, I was talking to my cousin, and I was like, Asuka came out with the tag belts, and I was like, I forgot they were even tag champions. Like, I totally forgot. So it's like, I thought since Warriors got it, they haven't like defended it. They haven't done anything. So it's like, I don't know who they're like. They might as well challenge the XY, which I love the whole like back to Liv Morgan situation, how they're planning out the Riot Squad. I love how they're doing that right now. So that's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, I was very intrigued with that too. Like, it's just I want to see Liv Morgan as a heel. Now she's playing like the face with Ruby playing the heel. It's just like I've been missing a lot of this feud. I see, like the clips and all on Twitter, but it's like I feel like the Riot Squad should have stayed together. Like, it just felt like
Absolute Sonya and Mandy.
Exactly, like you bring these tag titles into existence, and then you break up one of the top teams factions you had. So I mean, it is what it is, honestly. But like, Asuka and Kairi, they got off to such a hot start, but then they kind of ran through the very few teams there were, and it's kind of like now you see Asuka challenging for the Raw Championship, as of late. So it's I think that Marina and Jessamine Duke should definitely come up and insert themselves in that division. The only thing is they're heels too. Traditionally, they don't do heel versus heels, so I don't know how they'll play that out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think I could bring them up, but like maybe like they'll bring up like Bianca and like tag her with Naomi. Like I just don't know because I know me and my cousin were talking and we're like, well, why don't they bring up Undisputed Era? And then my cousin was like, well, why would they do that for the top guys in NXT? I was like, okay, true, because you can't take the top guys unless you have someone to replace the top guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Undisputed Era is so hot that I think I feel like they wouldn't strip them from NXT right now.
Exactly, especially with NXT like being on USA now, like it's like a legit third brand. It's not really like them being caught up anymore, because it to me, like I look at NXT as like a part of the main roster now, and it's like legit enough where you can keep wrestlers there for longer and it not really hurt them, because NXT, and especially because like Undisputed Era, they fit better in NXT than I think they would on Raw and SmackDown. That's just the style and what NXT is, and I fear like if they went to Raw or SmackDown, they would get watered down or something like that. Kind of like, because we've seen a lot of NXT stars go to the main roster and they just haven't been the same.
Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But Buddy Murphy, Buddy Murphy kind of never like really saw him. Because when he was in NXT, I didn't really know about NXT. So when he got called up, I was like, okay, 205 Live, I've heard of Buddy Murphy with like Brian Kendrick. And I started watching him and I was like, this guy is amazing. Like, he is so freaking talented. That match with him and Aleister before he became the Disciple, which makes me super angry. Because I'm like, you can't, like, I just feel like they are making Buddy Murphy like they watered him down, because like he's not gonna top Seth Rollins, like he's not gonna become the main guy, but now he's just like this guy who has more matches.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be his own person. He's so good.
He is. Like, I remember when he was in NXT, he was in that tag team with it was Blake. So it was Blake and Murphy, and I remember them being good, but then I didn't really realize how good he was until I saw him in 205 Live, because that's when he got the shine as a single star. And I was like, wow, because I'm not going to lie, like I just could never get into 205 Live in that cruiserweight division. But then because I always like watched the pre-show before a pay-per-view, and it seemed like the 205 Live, that cruiserweight title was always like a pre-show match, and I would always see Buddy Murphy each and every week. Like his matches with Cedric Alexander were so good.
Yeah, they were amazing. And Buddy Murphy and Brian Kendrick were too. Oh, they were just perfect. I remember I walked past him one day and I just looked at him and I was like, how can someone be so talented? Like, and it's, normally when you meet people, you're like, I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, I've watched you for this long. Like, but for him, it wasn't like that. It was just like, how can so much talent be packed into this one person? And he's just like, he doesn't talk. He's just super quiet, just walks around. I'm just like, you're awesome. Like, you don't understand how awesome you are. God, you're amazing.
Yeah, like that guy is like his matchup with Aleister Black were pretty good too. I saw him at a live event back in December. Him and Aleister had a match, and it's just like this guy is so incredibly talented. Like, hopefully, this storyline that they got going on with him and Seth go somewhere. Maybe they'll have a WrestleMania match or something. Like, I think that because since they just lost the titles, maybe there might be some kind of deception, and Seth will turn on Buddy, and they'll set something up.
I don't know. When it comes to that, like, I feel like with certain champions that they have, like when Asuka was NXT champion, it's kind of like, yay, like you're the champion, but it's also like even with Cena, give someone else a time. And I feel like that's the same. Like Seth is the new Cena. It's like the same as like Becky, the Cena of like the females, where it's like give someone else a title. Like you went from the Universal Champion to a tag champion. It's like you've only been a tag team for a month. That's like 2 weeks on Raw time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is this possible? But they know what they're doing, so he's on top. I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's cool. I talk to him a lot, too. He's one of my really good, not good, I don't know if we're like friends, but we talk sometimes, like here and there. I can't say that we don't hang out, but like I talk to them enough where they know my name. I can like talk to him. So, but yeah, he's cool, too. So just going with the flow, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, he's on TV, and he's being utilized. That's better than just sitting back, on the bench. So, I mean, that is a plus. And, being in an alliance with Seth, that tells you something on how WWE thinks of him. So that's a good thing.
Especially because, like, they're there and they doesn't really do anything. So the fact that, like, they gave Buddy and Seth the titles, maybe, like, I think they're trying to push Buddy, but didn't know if they could push him in the singles. So I think they're trying to go this route to see how the fans react to him. But, I mean, the fans love Buddy Murphy anyways. I just think 205 Live wasn't his crowd. Take him down to jeez. Maybe we'll go against Adam Cole. That's a dream match. I would love that match.
Oh, hell yeah. I would not argue about that. That's a 5-star match in the making right there.
Right, 5-star.
So I know, like I mentioned like earlier, what the last question was going to be, but I got one more quick question. Bianca or Sasha?
Let's do this.
Bianca Belair or Sasha Banks?
I'm trying to think because I love Sasha Banks because she's super talented. But coming from nothing, like coming from no wrestling background to like the powerhouse, the combine, I'm going to say Bianca just because like everything that she's accomplished and came through, I'm going to pick her. But like, I still love Sasha. But if they were in the match together, I would want Bianca to win for sure. She's bringing that hair whip back too, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah. I did notice I haven't really seen her do that in a while, but like at the end of the day, I am more of a fan of Sasha. But I will say with Bianca, she came into the company with a disadvantage because she did not have that experience on the independent circuit, and she took this business so seriously, and she's really grown, like, with her character, her in-ring skills. Like, I have to give kudos to her, and I really want to see her, with a title sometime, hopefully in the near future. but she deserves it with all the hard work she's put into this business, and she's gotten so good in just a few years when it usually takes people a lot longer.
Exactly. And I think that's like I am more of a fan of hers, just knowing that she like came from nothing. Like she's I feel like Sasha Banks is really entertaining to watch inside the ring, but so is Bianca. But on the mic, I think Bianca is way more entertaining. Because Sasha's like, she's like that baddie where she's like, I own everything, blah, blah, blah. But Bianca is like that like girl from the streets. Like she's like, it seems more her, more natural. So I gravitate towards Bianca. Like when I hear promos, I just love the girl. Like it just cracks me up. Cause it's like, really, do you really need to say that?
It's like she has that extra like spice to her when she's talking, and like you said, it feels so natural. Like it doesn't feel scripted or like goofy or anything like that. It just feels so real.
Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit more of a Bianca Belair fan than I am of a Sasha Banks. But I would never like drop down Sasha Banks. Like I love her too. She's a great competitor as well. She takes everything to the face, 100%. And you can't say she, because that girl will take anything. She'll take kicks, knees, anything to the face. I love it. She's very entertaining to watch.
Exactly. I mean, they both are. It's my dream match for both of them. Like, I want to see them two go head to head so bad. I was hoping that they would do more at Survivor Series because they were on opposite teams, and I was like really hoping that they would have some kind of moment in WWE. They didn't do it. They did not give us that moment when everyone on social media was like pleading for it.
But I think that's maybe for later. Everyone wanted it so bad. So plus they have that whole Rhea Ripley story going, so you can't top Rhea Ripley. So I think that's kind of the reason for that too.
Exactly. Like you said, they're probably saving it for later. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Hopefully, yeah. Oh wow. Well, yeah, I think that wraps up my interview. I mean, it was definitely enjoyable. It was actually fun too, talking a lot about wrestling too, versus just, doing the basic, generic questions. We both got the letter inner fan out, and that's always fun chatting wrestling with everyone.
I know, it's always fun to be a Mark. I love being Mark. It's great. Because I feel like, last thing I'm going to say before we end this interview, because I feel like when we always say it in my training school, it's like, if you can pop the people in the back from the moves that you do, that means you're awesome. Because we wrestlers know how, wrestling works. We know the psychology. We know the mindset. But if you can get us back and back, oh, shit, you can get us to say that in the back, you've won us over. Won us over. So
exactly. Like I heard, and that's a big part of like wrestling too, is having the respect from, your peers in the locker room too. Like that plays a big role in, how, wrestlers, from what I've heard at least, their rise in the company. Like, like Roman Reigns, for example, I heard that he's like a locker room leader, which plays a big role in why he's, booked as one of the top wrestlers versus like wrestler who is just basically a jerk, I guess you could say. And there was that whole thing going on with Tessa Blanchard, a few months ago, and all that stuff just surfaced, and I'm like, that's not doing her a favor, and that could have potentially played a role why WWE never signed her. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but she was in the Mae Young Classic. Her dad's a WWE Hall of Famer. Why didn't WWE sign her? Maybe she had some attitude issues and stuff like that.
So I've never met her, and I'm not going to start any rumors or anything, but there is an article about her and the person she was recently dating who is signed into WWE. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to be the person on the interview being like, Cameron's talking crap, but there is a reason why she's not signed, and it was because of temper problems that she did have. If people want to know about that, I'm pretty sure they can Google it, or like a lot of people know about it. I found out about it what was it, on the way to that Smackdown in October. That's when I found out about it. So that's what I heard. But to me, if she has a temper problem, like everyone has a temper, but I feel like when you do get that temper, just watch what you say, because you never know when they'll come back to bite you in the butt. Because all this stuff that the girl said that she did, I don't know her, was never there. Could have been 10 years ago. Could have been 5 years ago. But now it's purposely. So, because, people change. So
exactly.
I don't feel like people should continue to bash her because she is doing really good in in wrestling. She is like really talented. She's doing big things. But if they're recent, they feel type of way. People do have their own opinions. They can express it. But I feel like to ruin someone's career, you shouldn't go that far. Like, just keep your mouth shut. If you have a problem with her, you guys hash it out. Don't go to social media about it. Don't put her on blast. That's just me personally, because that causes drama for her. Then I feel like it also causes drama for you, because it's like you put her stuff out. Can we trust you now too? I don't know. I would just left it alone.
Exactly. Like I completely agree with you. Like I'm not a big fan of, people bringing issues on social media just because of how it can blow up and turn into a bigger thing than what it is. And I mean, I'm not going to like bring up stuff that's happened in the past, but like, yeah, I've seen plenty of times where, wrestlers have brought up stuff that's happened backstage on social media and it turns into this big thing and it kind of ruins their career, or if not tanks a little bit. So it's like, I feel like your business is your business, and you should just keep everything behind closed doors. But I mean, that's just me,
Coming by, it's like, oh, that's because like that tweet she made about like we should stand up for all women. They could have been like, oh well, like shocker that you're saying that when that's not the truth. Like you could have came across it a different way where like she knew what you were talking about, but not the whole world knew.
Exactly.
So I don't know. And like my friends were all like, guess what is happening? Like, like when drama happens, it's like, guess what? It's like, I don't care. I don't know these people. So good luck. I did see him though. 'Cause I was like, whoa, like why is everyone bashing like this person? Like even with the ACH thing, I was like, whoa, what's happening with ACH? But I read it and I was like, okay, I know about it. That's it. I got nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, that was a pretty big thing too. I had some friends that actually were stayed off social media for a few days just because how bad it got. Like even I almost was off. It got so bad with like all the drama and all. And it was sad because like I feel like he was going through like I understand how it's like to deal with like anxiety and mental health and stuff like that. I'm not saying I don't know exactly what he was going through, but I do know how it can affect you and how it can cause you to kind of like lash out and just get really emotional on social media. I guess that's the best way to say it. So it's like I definitely feel for the guy, and that was pretty a good example of just stuff going on social media that maybe shouldn't have gone on there. I don't know, like it's a tough situation because you don't really know what happened behind backstage and what.
Whatever.
And that's and that's the biggest thing. Like
Just keep my mouth shut.
exactly, like people just judge, based off of what they see. It's like what happened behind backstage. You don't know. So social media is a really scary thing, honestly. And it's just at the end of the day, you just have to be careful with what you say because you can say something one day and then it resurfaces 5-10 years later. I've seen that happen plenty of time with wrestlers. Like Seth Rollins, his ex-girlfriend, she had posted something years ago and then she ended up getting released from the company. I forgot what it was, but yeah, that stuff, people will dig that stuff up and it's crazy and it's scary. So it's like always be careful because you never know. Wow. Well, yeah, so Cameron, so wow. So thank you so much. Yeah, that was crazy. Like we just talked about just anything and everything. So, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us today here on O Face Wrestling. It was definitely really fun, and like I said, just always try wrestling. I love it. So, do you wanna plug any of your social media?
Yeah, so I tell people every interview about this because I suck at Twitter. Like I absolutely suck at Twitter. So I know some people try to hit me up on Twitter. Messages are cool. Tweets, pictures. I don't know how to work it. I'm sorry. But my Twitter is linked up to my Instagram. My Instagram is Camron_Bra'Nae. Type in Camron Bra'Nae, should pop up as well. My Facebook, so everyone's been adding me on my Camron Bra'Nae Facebook. That is my personal Facebook. My athlete page is just Bra'Nae. That's where you can see kind of everything, where I'm going, from promoters tag me in pictures, my interviews, little random video clips of me doing weird stuff, dancing, talking. I'm a very weird human. I just think of things to do and I'm like, oh, a phone, awesome, let's do it. Uh, um, my Instagram have a lot of live feeds on it. So my Instagram is more of like, if you want to see matches that I've had, because I'll like upload little videos, upload, promo pictures from that, pictures from other things. I just uploaded a picture of me with gummy bears. I love gummy bears, guys. So if you guys want to bring me some gummy bears, I will not complain. So yeah, those would be the two social medias that you would want to get in contact with me on, would be Instagram or Facebook. And if you want to talk to me on Twitter, it would have to be through direct messenger, not through a tweet, because I don't see tweets. I don't know how to work them. So you guys should message me. I'm always on my phone, so I should always message you back. And if I don't, then you can yell at me, because I'm literally always on my phone, unless I'm sleeping, and I sleep a lot.
Yeah, I noticed. Like, I noticed you responded to the DMs pretty quickly. So, I mean, that's just the world we live in. Everyone's on their phone, so it's very common.
Yeah, I try to keep in contact with a lot of my fans, because I know how it feels to be that fan, to like want to reach out to someone, like not get anything back. And there's this little girl. Her name is Kennedy on Instagram. It's like Banks Royce or something like that. And I never realized like who she was, because like I think she followed me off of the Smackdown thing, and she posted this video of me. Like, she made like a little like 30-second clip of me, of like my pictures with music. And I reached out to her, and she like lost her mind. She's like maybe like, I don't know, 10. If I got your age wrong, hon, and you're watching this, I'm sorry. I don't know how old you are, but she's like I would say like 9 to like 13. So yeah, it was crazy. So like, if you hit me up on Instagram, like I see my notifications very often. So like I'll like comments and like reply back to comments. But on Instagram, my messengers, if I don't follow you, are off. So I won't see those. But if you message me on Twitter, I'll see them. So yeah, that's the way to get in contact with me. So send me pictures, send me ideas for gear, because I'm always looking for new gear. So I love when fans make me gear. I know 2 fans made my last 2 gears, so I'll be getting that made very soon. So that's really exciting.
All right, well, yeah, definitely make sure that you all, follow her on all the social media, send her the pictures, and also if you ever go to a live event that she's at, bring her some gummy bears.
Yes. Oh my gosh, please. I will love you forever. Gosh, she wants to be a co-captain of Team Babe, because if you bring me gummy bears, no question, I'll make you the captain. I'll be co-captain. Like, I love gummy bears.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm a big gummy bear person too. I usually get like the store brand at the giant grocery store down the road. I love them. I mean, they're so good, especially the gummy worms too. Either one, they're the same, just different shapes. But
healthy, and I'm like, I'll be healthy. I won't eat chips, but I'm gonna grab this bag of gummy bears.
I mean, you gotta have that guilty pleasure. There's nothing wrong with cheating on your diet every now and then.
Oh, gummy bears are so bad, but they're so good.
They are. I'll be honest with you, they're delicious.
Yeah.
Make sure that you all also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just search O Face Wrestling and we'll pop up. Camron, thank you again so much for joining us today. It was definitely really fun. And thank you all. Awesome. Thank you. And thank you all for tuning in to O Face Wrestling, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.